You're watching EVH Gear TV, brought to you by Design39 Media. Visit design39media.com for all your website, photography, and video production needs. Microphones for EVH Gear TV are provided by Rode Microphones, and official Van Halen merchandise is provided by VanHalenStore.com. Now, here's your host from Ontario, Canada, EVH Gear artist Eric Broadbent.
Hey everyone, happy Sunday evening and thanks for your patience. Welcome to EVH Gear TV. We are live for an unscheduled broadcast on a beautiful Sunday, actually a freezing rain Sunday evening, but you know what? It's nice and warm in here and I'm excited. We hit 5,000 subs today. I'm really stoked about that. I could not be more happy. I wasn't expecting it to come this soon, just with the forecast, looking at the numbers and things like that. It didn't look like it was going to be for probably a week or so, and then all of a sudden there's been a lot of subs as of late. So thank you. It's almost, I don't know the exact day, I'm going to say it's right around close to Eddie Van Halen's birthday in January. So it's actually, you know what? It's just passed. So it's about 2 years and a month, pretty much, something like that. 2016 is when I really kicked this thing off, and you can tell I'm a little bit flabbergasted and lost for words. Because it's kind of cool. It's not like you're 5 million and you're a million and 100,000 like some of these other guys have, but to me, it's equal to that. It's a huge thing for the channel, for me, for my family, especially my family, probably more so than anything. But yeah, two years ago, I had this little idea. I used to use YouTube as a dumping repository for my band videos and stuff like that. And I think I've been on YouTube since 2012 or something around there. Pretty much right when I shut my band down. And then I just started dumping some videos on there. Then 2016, I thought, everyone, once in a while, people would contact me and say, hey, Eric, how do I hook up this pedal to this? How do I get the brown sound here with this gear I have? All that kind of stuff. And I thought, well, let's do a video. It was a horrible video. A lot of my original ones were pretty horrible. But it was in this different studio. Like I'm in this room here, but a different layout. And I'm on the floor with my pedal board. And I'm showing, okay, here's what you do here. Here's what you do here. This kind of stuff. Kind of a walkthrough of pedals. And I said, if you guys like this, by show of command, basically, show of hands, if you like the stuff, I'll do more. And then I think the second one I called it was like EVH discussion, chat, talk, whatever. I don't know what I called it back in the day, but it was something like that. And it didn't really have a name for it yet. And it's kind of stuck. People were enjoying it. So I did probably 3 or 4 more of those, more along the lines of demos. And then started inviting some people on as guests, and here we are, 2 years later, 5,000 subscribers, and had a wealth of really great people come through, friends, celebrities, and everywhere in between. And so I'm very honored. So enough of that. I'm going to go through in a little bit as well too, and thank some very important people. First and foremost, you guys. Before I get into the list of people, everyone that's watching right now. Thank you so very much. And I'm going to just address everyone over in the chat as well too. And tonight I was scheduled to do a 5,000 subscriber celebration. I do have an agenda, not a written agenda like I usually do, but I have a motive tonight. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a live playthrough for the very first time of the Line 6 hxfx unit, which I'll just switch over for a second if I can get to it. 1 second. Where is it? Oh boy. I don't even know where I put it. Give me a second here. Okay, there's the actual FX unit right there, but I don't know where I put the other one. That's how, oh, it is here, and we'll turn on the chat on the screen too. There we go. How's that look? There we go. Got everyone's name nice and bright on the screen so you can see it. So there we go. I've got the Helix over here as well too, and as you can see with that little graphic up on the screen there, the Helix Hour, new segment coming soon to EVH Gear TV. I'm really looking forward to that. I get a lot of ideas sometimes, and a lot of times they just don't stick. It's like throwing spaghetti at the wall. A lot of them don't fly. And I'm known for that. I come up with a million ideas. 99.9% of them are stupid and they go by the wayside. This is not going to be one that's going to go by the wayside. So once a month, I'm going to do a 60-minute segment on line 6 family of products, like the Helix family, from the rack to the LT to the floor to, of course, now the hxfx. And I'm going to have a bunch of industry professionals and friends come on. And I'm going to be the guy that's going to be the non-techie guy. I'm going to be the non-knowledgeable guy because I'm a novice when it comes to all the Helix stuff and the Variax. I'm just learning it all day by day. So I'm going to be the guy that's going to facilitate, push the buttons, and have the professionals come on. Everyone like from, Jared from Tone Wars and, Rich Antonelli and Chad from Chad and all those guys. Obviously, Line 6 staff will pop on from time to time as well, too, and give us some, advice. All these people that are making and selling patches, I'll have those people on. It's going to be really, really cool. And what I want to do, my goal with that is to just see, like all of us guys and girls that are buying new gear, a lot of times, and I'm guilty of it, we go watch these videos and we read and we do all this kind of stuff. And if sometimes, like we get the gear and we don't know what to do with it sometimes. So we want to try to save you some of the searching and the time wasted by getting the facts as quickly as you can and then enjoying your product. So that's why I'm going to have the professionals come on in a 60-minute segment. It'll be something that won't, overload you in a 60-minute segment. And, you can always come back to next week for a follow-up or watch a video back for follow-up. So that's my goal with the Helix Hour, and that's going to be coming soon. I don't have an official launch date on that, but it's going to be very, very soon, sooner than later. That's for sure. So let's go over and say hi to everyone in the chat. We've got very first and foremost, my Canadian friend Carlo Santin says first, and congrats, Eric, on the 5,000 mark. Thank you, buddy. That means a lot. And I got to give a shout to Carlo. He has this really cool thing he does on Instagram. It's called Origins. And it's origins of certain words that we all take for granted every day. And it's a little video series he does, very, very short. It's very, very cool. So if you friend him on Instagram, and Carlo, you can maybe mention your, I forget what your actual, I think it's CR Santin, I think, but mention you if you want people to follow you. Check that out, Origins. My beautiful better half, Poison Ivy, is here. And it's actually, I'm doing a show early enough that she can actually attend because she gets rest early in the evening. She's usually in bed by the time we do our Friday night shows, 9 p.m. So I will pause here for a second. This show, so if you guys are thanking me and congratulating me and stuff like that, she deserves all of it. If it wasn't for Poison Ivy, Sandra Lee, I would not be doing this. She's the utmost incredible inspiration a husband or spouse could ever have. She pushes me. Since we've met, she's encouraged me to play guitar, pushed me for greatness, and never settling for second. Just always go. So thank you. And if it was up to her, like I've said this before, joking on the show, I would be doing the show 7 nights a week. So, and it's just I'm one of those guys that if you don't have something good to say, then don't say it. I'm not just going to make up something to go for a show. So that's why I only do a few shows, and I am going to start interjecting a little bit more shows here and there. But it's all because of her. So thank you, Poison Ivy. I would not be doing this without you. I love you so much. Scary Groove says, what's up, Eric? Congrats. Thank you. Eric Haubauer says, sup. And it was actually Eric who pointed it out to me today. I was on Facebook, and he says, Eric, congrats on the 5,000. I was like, what? I went and looked, and sure enough, so that was cool. So thank you. You're the one. I have to give credit to you that brought it to my attention first. Mike Francis says, hey, Eric, congratulations, my friend. Awesome job. JJ Collins is here saying, hi, everyone. Poison Ivy says, thanks, guys. Eric, yeah, I had some technical difficulties. What it was is I was getting some levels on my amp. Like what you're hearing right now is just coming through this mic, but so I'm running the 5150 100 watt head back here, and I was having a bit of a trouble getting my channels all in line. So you're gonna hear the hxfx through the 100 watt EVH back there, mic'd up on a 4x12 with 2 mics panned left and right. That's what my delay was. Let me see here. So JJ Collins 5K, that's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. Congrats. He says, Mike Francis, take your time. Guys ain't going anywhere. Adam Roach from Become a Guitarist podcast today. I might have said that backwards, but you know what I'm saying. Adam Roach, great podcast host. Congratulations again, Eric. Chris says, congrats on the 5K. Honestly, with the quality of your content and production, it should be 500K. Thank you. Thank you. It feels like 500K to me. It does, but thank you. Baby steps, one little step at a time. R2R3 Locknet says, congratulations, Eric and the gang. Thank you, sir. Richard Henry, hey, Eric, guitar nerd. Yes, improv rules. Adam Roach, woohoo. JD Gonzalez, hi, guys. I'm back. Hello from Venezuela. All right. Mike Ray, congrats. Thank you. More guitars, Eric. Love the show. My wife is also from Ontario, Toronto, Etobicoke. Spelling of sure. What part are you from? I'm more towards the winter area, and as a young teen, I lived in Etobicoke for a while, actually, right on the lakeshore. That's when I quit school to be a rock star, and that failed. But that's why I lived in Etobicoke for a while. Very cool. So nice to know another fellow Canadian. Lyle Ketchum says, woohoo, 5K. I could probably read these off the screen, but it's off the chat screen, but it's easier just to read off the chat box to the side here with my vision. Lyle Ketchum, woohoo. MB215, congrats on 5K subs, Eric. You deserve it, bud. Thank you. I'm going to be all giddy and blushing here. Lyle Ketchum, congrats, sir. Let me see, JJ Collins, hi to the other gang there. All right, we got FNF Gamers, Sam VH5150. Congrats from FNF. Thanks, buddy. Eric Cowbar says, I got to scroll back because I lost it. Yeah, this is going, let me see here. Say this again. So Sam say, Eric says, my son was sub 5,000. He doesn't know it yet. No way. Okay, there you go. I got you. So that's cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's nice. That's very cool. Thank you. Poison Ivy saying hi to the gang here as well too. I'm really happy to have Poison join tonight because she loves you guys as well, and it's a very tight knit community here, family. Mike Francis says that's an awesome idea, Eric. Thank you. I think you're assuming about the Helix Hour. I think. So Sam saying hi to Poison. Bobby Clipper, congratulations, Eric. Carlo Santin, thanks for the plug, Eric. My Instagram is CR Santin. See, I sometimes remember things. I'm a savant with things. Sometimes, I remember some things, and other things I can't. CR Santin. There you go. Follow me, guys. I try to make it short, fun, and informative. It's a very, very cool thing. More guitars. Eric, do you prefer the EL34 or the 6L6 version of the 50-watt amp? I'm going to have to go with the EL34 on that one. I don't own that one yet. I'm going to be getting that one. But I do prefer the EL34. Crystal cleans. I like an amp that has cleans. You can always add distortion if you need it. If you overdrive, whatever. I mean, if you have an amplifier that's got dirty channels and it's just not 100% getting it there's all kinds of things you can do with that. It's easier to add distortion to it than try to take it away. That being said, with the EL34, the cleans are so clean, you've got a great bass right there. And even if you want to run an overdrive or distortion pedal into that clean channel, it's awesome. So I highly plug that one. Let me see here, Poison Ivy. Let me see. Mike Francis says, Poison Ivy is why you're a success. Without family as support, we can do nothing. Congrats to you both. Yes, I might not have said that exactly the way you said it there, or read it. Sometimes I read dyslexically, backwards, whatever. But I agree 100%. Without her, I would not be doing this. And as sick as she can be at times, the music doesn't bother her. The noise doesn't bother her. I made some noises today when she was trying to get some rest. And I thought, oh my God, I didn't know how to use the effects unit properly yet. And I had some huge feedback. I was like, oh my God, I hope I didn't wake her up. And she said after, I didn't hear a thing. So I'm like, yes, I could the soundproofing in here is getting pretty good. Chad Boston. Chad, thank you. I says, congrats, Poison Ivy and Eric. And that is, it's to us. It's not just to me. It's to us. Thank you. And Bane rocks, Eric Jr. I got to mention him as well too. Bane is my son. And he is only 12 years old next month, and he's already co-executive producer of the show. I plan on integrating him as a co-host on the show sometime in the distant future. I don't know when that's going to be, but it's going to be sooner rather than later. Just like the Helix Hour, it's going to be sooner rather than later. So he's a great asset and my best buddy in the whole world. So he's going to be part of the show as well too. But he helps with this. All the produced demos that I do, he's behind the camera, directing, producing. Dad, say it with some more emotion. If he corrects me, it's really, really good. Single coil lovers here. Congratulations on 5,000. Thank you. I appreciate that. Terry's GG&G. Is that what it is? GC? Yeah, I think so. What is it? I can't see if it's GC&G, but Terry. We'll say Terry. And I just hit the microphone. Sorry about that. Wow, congrats on 5K subs, Eric. I need to blow up the chat so it's like size 65 font. That's what I should do. Then I might be able to read it. Let me see here. So Thomas Santiago says, congratulations, Eric and Poison Ivy. Adam Roach, you were pretty close. Become a guitarist today. I'm so sorry. I'm bad that way, but it's a great podcast. This week I have Frank Cambali on. Dude, great guest. Awesome. He'd be great to have on your show as well. Amazing player. Yes, he would. Thank you. Thank you for the suggestion. And that's going to be a great episode. Please let me know when that's available to listen to. Single Core Lovers Vape, Poison, Chad Boston, Cool on Junior, for sure. Okay, enjoy your dinner there, FNF Gamers. He's heading into a restaurant. Bane Rocks, there he is. Love you, buddy. Thank you so much. And I got to give him some huge credit, too, on top of what I just said. I probably would not be doing YouTube either if it wasn't for him, because he was a YouTube guy before me, believe it or not, doing these gaming videos. And there's one video he did. I love it to death. And it's not his most popular. Actually, probably is his most popular one. I'm not sure what the views are on it, but it's Minecraft tips, how to survive in Minecraft, when he used to play that. And it's just so cute. You have to watch it. Like, first you got to get some food, and all this kind of stuff. And it's so cute. And we green screened it back in the day with like cheap green screen, as cheap as you can do it. And it actually looked pretty good. So I was really impressed. And then he's got another one now with this Jeffy puppet. That's just absolutely amazing. It's almost at 20,000 views. So I'm learning a lot from this kid. He's awesome. Jeffrey Monroe says, hey, good for you in the subs, Eric. You really put forth serious effort, and it shows, brother. Thank you. I appreciate that. Humbucker Lovers here. Hey, from the Guitar News Network. Everyone check that out. The whole family's here. All right, so I'm gonna highlight it right at Humbucker Lover here, and just so that way I can try to remember where to come back. So I've got the hxfx from line 6. It's a really cool processor. We can run up to 9 simultaneous effects at a time. This could potentially replace everything on your pedal board. Or if you needed like a fly rig and you needed to go to a date somewhere and you didn't want to bring your entire board, you could bring just this, possibly an expression pedal for volume, wah, pitch changes and things like that. But as you can see here where my hand is, it could be your all-in-one encompassing board, from modulations to distortions, dynamics like noise reductions, EQs, pitch change. I'm probably repeating myself a few times, but it's amazing. And one of the things I like to do here on the show quite often is I like to do these kind of demos in the live environment. Now, it's scary. It's all heck, because I could fall flat on my face, which a lot of times I do. But I only know enough about this unit right now to navigate a little bit. So I'm going to learn it with you. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to not look into the distortions. There's some incredible distortions and overdrives and things like that. But I'm running it tonight through the effects loop, as you can see behind me, on the EVH 5150 100 watt half stack. So I'm not using any overdrives. What I plan on doing tonight is mostly modulations, the chorusing, delays, all that kind of stuff, and show you how easy it is to make your own preset and move them around at any given time. It's just awesome. So I'm going to make sure I don't miss anyone there as well, too. So we're going to, let me see 1 second here. Okay, I'm going to bring up the cabinets here a little bit. Okay, so right now, if you're hearing anything at all with my guitar, it's just bleeding through this microphone. So let's bring them on a little bit. Okay, so that's the cabinet mic left and right. A little bit of hiss because I'm very loud in this room right now. It's a 100 watt head, so I'm up loud. Okay, and I'll just give you the dirty channel, then we'll go to the lead channel. That's a dirty. Go to the lead. Okay, so you're hearing what my patches sound like. So I think what we'll do is we'll start off with the clean channel. And okay, so you can see, and I apologize here on the screen where my hand is. It's a little dark. I don't have, I've got nice studio lighting for the lighting that I like to go with here, but I don't have the best lighting so you can see everything. But you can kind of see the patches here. And if I go to this other screen for a second, let's go to the Helix full for a second, HX full, I should say. So you can see a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to, right now we're in bank 5. We can go through banks like this, and then there's very, very simple, just kind of like the Helix. People that own the Helix are going to be able to adapt to this very, very quickly, and people that don't own the Helix, any of that product in that line, you're going to navigate, or you're going to adapt to it, and the learning curve is going to be fairly quickly as well, too. All right, so I'm going to go up to 5 where it's blank, okay? All right, so what I'm going to do while I'm doing this, let's mute those 2 microphones that are on the 412, just get rid of that background hiss, okay? Much nicer, isn't that nice? All right, and that's not saying anything bad about the EVH amps. It's loud. It's very, very loud. Okay, so this is probably the better screen to keep this on, and I'll come back and I'll show the chat on the screen here in a little bit as well too. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go into here. All right, so Okay, so if I hit mode, now I basically become into stomp mode. So picture this as a pedal board with 3, 4, 5, 6 different physical pedals on your board. So right now, this is our blank pedal board, and we want to start adding some pedals to it. All right, so I can go anywhere I want, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something backwards. I'm going to create one here, and eventually I'm going to say, I want to take it and move it over here. And that, you know what it's like on a real pedal board, you know, you got your Velcro or whatever, however you want to fasten your pedals on the board. That's not exactly easy to do. That's an all-day procedure in some cases. Once you get your pedals on there and you got them in the wrong order, you know, it's a pain in the butt. This, we can move them in 2 seconds. So we're going to start with this one, okay? And it's telling me to hit the big knob, so I'm going to. All right, so what do I want to do? We're going to go to, let's do something obvious. Let's go get a reverb. So I'm just turning the knob counterclockwise, or I'm sorry, clockwise, and I know you can't necessarily read all of those, but I'll do my best. Okay, so I've got reverb. I push it down once. Then there's stereo, mono, and then legacy, which is some of the proper terms. Some of you guys that are the Line 6 guys in the chat here, well, I guess you could confirm what that is, but it's like the older reverbs from the past of theirs, the older line, whatever. I'm not sure the exact way to describe that, but Mike or Chad, you guys could. Hey, Sean Tubbs is here as well too. You could describe that as well better than I can. But I'm gonna actually take a legacy reverb because I want to go grab an old plate. Whenever you want to get old Van Halen sound. Obviously, the plate reverb is quite nice, so we're going to try that. Okay, so let's try to grab a plate. So I went mono. And actually, I got to go back 1 second. I got to go to the legacy first. Then there's plate. Okay. Okay, I'm going to bring the cabinet up. Hear that? Nice and wet. Obviously it's got a lot of hang time on that, so what we're going to do is we're going to adjust that, and I can do one of two things. I can just go up to the top, and I can turn the knobs. There's knobs 1, 2, and 3. You can see here. So I can do that, and that changes the decay, the pre-delay, and things like that. But if I just feather touch on the unit, watch this. Okay, so now I can do all of this. I'm going to try to move my microphone over so I can talk a little bit more too. So you've got like your high cut, your mix, all that kind of stuff. And to get between each one of them, you just hit the buttons below action, like a little cursor. Actually, no, sorry. No, I'm wrong. Just feather touch each one like that. And that's just a touch. Like that. Isn't that cool? So if I want to adjust the mix, there we go. So let's try that. Let's bring it down to like 10%. Well, somewhere near 13. It's just there. Okay, but I want the mix to be higher, but I want to get rid of some of that hang time. I don't want a plate to be like, 4 hours long. So I'm going to go about 25. I'm going to go about 30%. But let's kill the hang time on it. Okay, let's go back here. Whoops, let's do that again. See that? Shortening down a little bit. That's pretty good right there. Okay, let's try to see what it sounds like on the Dirty channel. Sounds quite nice. Okay, so let's just say for argument's sake that I like that reverb there. And I do like it. I'm done with it. I could tweak until the cows come home on that. But I'm going to leave it right there. So now I'm done. So if I just hit my mode button again, so now I've got my plate reverb up at number 1. But let's just say for some reason you didn't want it there, just for argument's sake. Now we're not going to talk about as far as how the signal flows yet, but we don't like it on the pedal board there. We want it on the bottom row. So all I got to do is do this. Watch this. Okay, I hit OK. Now look at that. I just moved my reverb over here. All I'm doing, and I'm not pressing and holding those buttons. I'm just touching them. So watch this. I'm going to move it up to the top right-hand corner. Boom. Okay, so there's my reverb. Okay, so I'm going to take a second. I'm just going to mute my 412 cabinets again, too, because it's just a little bit loud in here. 1 sec. There, so much nicer. Okay, so now we're going to add another one. We're going to add my second favorite effect, but actually probably my first favorite effect, which is delay. Okay, so I'm just going to hit another pedal over here. What do I want to do? Hit the knob. Go down to delay. All right. So actually, you know what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to actually watch my screen here while I do it here. I might be able to see it better. If I can get my hand out of the way, I might not be able to do it. Okay, so this mono or stereo, obviously if you're running in a stereo power amp or to 2 amps, whatever, the ping pong effects you can get are absolutely beautiful. But in this case here, we're running a mono system through the 5150's effects loop. So what do I have there? Mono, okay. Simple delay, all kinds of sweep delay, sweep echoes, duck delay, which is kind of a thing. Joe Satriani was always known for that, back in the days, using some of the preliminary stuff that, that is kind of old school today. But, you're playing, you'd listen to these guys be shredding like crazy, and then all of a sudden, as they kind of hold the note and kind of back off a little bit, then you'd hear the delay come in. Well, as it's ducking, it'll actually back away a little bit so your notes aren't muddy while you're playing, and then come back on and increase as the attack kind of wears off, as your picking wears off. But I don't want to do that. Okay. Everyone's getting into vintage delays, vintage digital delays, going back to get days of yesterday, like your SDE 3000s and all that kind of stuff. Eddie Van Halen, Steve Stevens, all those guys like going after that kind of sound, and I particularly like it as well. So let's try that. Okay, and I'm going to go to the clean channel just for now, just for argument's sake. And I might as well put our cabinets back on. There you go. Okay, so I like that. Okay, whoops. So there's the delay. Now we're going to actually edit it. Okay, so I have it at 500 milliseconds. Let's bring that down to a nice, quick kind of Van Halen ain't talking about love kind of deal. I'm going to say around 200 milliseconds. All right, let's see what we got on the dirty channel. Okay, so it's getting closer. It needs a longer attack. Okay, and it needs the mix to be brought down quite a bit, as far as I'm concerned. Whoops, did it again. There we go. 30%, try that. Could probably come up a little bit more, and the delay could probably be a little bit longer. Oops. Here. I'm not going to try to get any of this near perfect. I'm just kind of giving you some songs of reference. Darn it. See, I'm not pressing it, doing it right. I've got to press it there. There we go. Okay, so there we go. We got a nice delay. I'm happy with that. But I want to move the delay to the bottom right. There we go. Let's add another effect. So you can see I've just created 2 effects now that I love. Okay, now we're going to add one of my other favorite effects. We're going to add a chorus, and then we're going to actually try to add a modulation like a tremolo or maybe probably tremolo. Right, so we're going to hit a button again, and I'm going to jump back to the chat here in a second as well too, because I know I'm missing some things. Let me see here. So let's hit the knob, and we're going to go to modulation. Actually, dynamics, mono. You can put in compression. Okay. There's a compressor right there, LA Studio compression. A compressor, and that's one, if you're familiar with the Helix, that's a great one on the Helix. So that would, I brought my level pretty hot, so obviously let's add that one for a minute. Whoops, go back to it again, and let's edit that. So let's bring the, where's the output on that one? I'm going to bring the output on it just down a little bit. And the mix down a bit too. I hope I'm not clipping your ears. I don't think I am. I'm watching my meters. So the compression is nice. If I go back now and give you comparison with and without it. I know I'm close to danger zone and clipping there, so let's bring it down. You get the idea, right? Okay. And I didn't even mean to add a compressor, but we're going to leave it there. Now we're going to add a chorus. Modulation. Mono. We're going to do tremolo first, okay? We're going to do tremolo, because tremolo, I'm going to try my best to duplicate the sound I used for my song called Fly. Oh, it's getting close already. Didn't realize I was even had the knob on there. I used a real Leslie speaker in the studio recording it, and you can duplicate that with some things like this as well, too. So that's what a tremolo. What else we got? Harmonic tremolo. Okay, that's a start. That's close to my sound that I want already. So let's edit it a bit. already at 100. Okay, we can change the wave here. Whoops, go back over here. Changing the wave. Now let's bring the mix down a bit because the mix is pretty hot. Okay. Okay, for argument's sake, I like it. So there we go. Now I've created a vintage delay, a plate reverb, a studio compression, and a harmonic tremolo. Now, let's turn that off. Let's go create a chorus. Same idea. You get the gist of this now, right? Modulation, mono. And they got the pretty good Eddie Van Halen EVH Phase 90s and the flanger in here too. Not the exact ones, but pretty darn close. So for the Van Halen fans, you can get it. Okay. Where are we at? Chorus. Listen to that. Okay, I like that. Let's have a look what we got for settings on that one. 50% on the mix. And let's bring the rate up a little bit. Okay, a little crazy. And I want, because I like a little bit more delay when I'm using a chorus, let's go back and let's bring up that delay mix. Whoops, sorry. You have to press it at the right time. Okay, touch it once. There we go. Okay, and let's change that time now on that one, because now we don't want that ain't talking about love kind of tone anymore. Is that nice? Now the mix is too hot, obviously. Whoops. Bring the mix way down. Okay, now let's try some pitch. All right, go back here. I'm gonna turn off the chorus, turn off the delay, and I'll get the reverb on for a second. All right, now I'm gonna. This will be the last one that we're gonna create. Okay, now I don't have an expression pedal. That's the next thing I've got to get, so I won't be able to do any rocking of the pitch like a whammy, but I'm going to show you some harmonizing and things that you can do as well. Whoops, did the wrong thing, sorry. Do that again. Pitch wham, twin harmony. So you got some crazy, crazy harmonies. That's too loud, obviously, but let's bring the volume back on that. It really tracks very, very nice. Very nice. All right, so see what else we can do with that. Simple pitch. Put on the delay. That sound cool? I love it. All right. And okay, let's go back to the other screen here for 1 second here. There we go. How's that? So we're back. Let's take a quick second. I'm going to go over the chat here again too. I know I missed a whole bunch of people. So you're getting at least my first look and practical hands-on. It's the first time I've created, other than one patch day, I created reverb today to find out what I was doing. I just haven't had a chance yet to actually get into this thing. We've been learning the Variax, which I got last week, and this thing at the same time. But learning one thing at a time, gravitating into this. This is what I'm thinking. I have kind of 3 rigs here in the studio that I want to run. The main rig now of choice, a rig I call it, is the Helix itself. So the Helix is back, where it is. right there. That's what I'm trying to point to. It's hard to point backwards. That is a rig, and I'm very content to plug into that, into my mixer, and out to you guys on YouTube, and I'm thrilled to absolute death with it. B rig is actually, there's probably 4 rigs now. The B rig is a combination of helix and amplifier. And what I in that case, I go helix and I go the Lunchbox 2, the LBX2. It's only a 2-channel amplifier. But what I've done with that, I figured out with the helix how to send commands out to the amplifier to switch channels. So it has an external amp control on the back of the helix. So when I step on a certain patch, I can save a channel switch. So if I have a lead channel, I'll switch it. When I hit the helix, it'll change the Lunchbox to the dirty channel. Or when I go back to a clean channel, it'll switch it back there as well too. So that's another option of a rig, and that's blending the two of them together. And there's a video on the channel here. If you want to go back and have a look at that, I demonstrate that, and it's amazing because I start playing the guitar, then I blend in the helix, and oh man, is it just absolutely amazing. So the next rig is pretty much my regular rig, is with the massive pedal board that you can't see at the moment, but it's the pedal board from Idea Bench and Peddle Snake and Strymon. They provide the power for that. And it's got everything on there. It's got the Boss PT500. It's got the Strymon Big Sky, all the EVH pedals, the MXR distortion, everything, the whole EVH line. What else I got on there? The Boss modulation, the MD500. It's a crazy pedal board. It's massive. So that's the other rig, and that runs normally through the 100 watt that I'm running through tonight. And then the last rig is strictly this. It's going to be just one of the heads with nothing but the hxfx into it, and that could be the Desert Island rig, or it could be that rig where if you're flying on a fly date, whatever, or traveling, you don't want to bring a whole whack of stuff. You could bring some guitar cables and everything inside a small little gym bag, and you still got room for stuff. So it's amazing for that. It's gonna all the distortions you could possibly want. You can load IRs and impulse responses and stuff like that, which I don't even know how to do on here yet. I do know how to do it on the Helix, but it's absolutely amazing. I can't say enough about it. It's so simple to use, and I was scared at first. Then you can get into the crazy stuff too. Like okay, so we talked about moving the pedals just physically on the board, but we haven't really got into how you can change the order of them. And I'm not going to save any of these at the moment. But because I want to particularly save the other things in different order. But if I was to pick the, let's say the compression, okay? So I'm on compressor right now, and I hit the menu button, and I go to signal flow. Now I can sit here and I can move where I want that pedal. See, I'm not sure if you can see that. Let's go to the big screen again for a second. One sec. So by turning that, do you see it moving? So that's the signal flow of where I want that compressor. All right. I can even do this as well too. The path. See that? I can split the signal just like you can on the Helix. I split it off. So if I want to put something like an effects loop either behind the amplifier or in front of the amplifier, I can make my path. Now here again, I'm not going to profess to know anything about this because I'm not that good at it yet. But I know I can move that and split my signal wherever I want. Perfect example, you wouldn't want to have like a distortion pedal or something after the amplifier in the loop. It wouldn't make any sense. You could potentially put one in there by accident. It's very easy to move it. So that's how you move that around. We could go back again. Let's say we want to move the reverb. Okay, so I hit the reverb, whoops, and then I hit the menu button, signal flow, and I just choose my path if I want it like that. And then where do I want it in the chain? It's so amazing. You can do that with any pedal. There's different things you can do as well too, where you can route it either to the effects loop of an amplifier or some pedals to the front of the amplifier. There's different configurations between the 4-cable method and all those other different ways to do that as well too. And here again, I don't profess to be an expert on that. All I've learned so far is just simply creating the patches, and I am more than happy with that. It's like these are the pedals that I've just created now that in most cases on my board, and let's switch screens again. Most cases on my board, this is every pedal I would ever want. Delay, reverb, some modulation, maybe some noise gate or some compression. I don't even use a compressor. Yes, I do actually. I use Exotic EP Boost, which is not really a compressor, but similar concept. I like a tremolo if possible, and that's about it because I do like to use a lot of effects on clean. So everything you could possibly ask for is right here. And by the way, it's actually a really affordable price if you think about it. It might scare some people when you think right off the get-go. It's $5.99 in stores right now, but how many pedals can you buy for $5.99? It would not take you too long at all to get that. I mean, you could buy one of the the workstation type pedals from Boss or any of these other people that make these fine pedals it's not going to take too long for that to add up and surpass $599. So $599 US street price is phenomenal. And I do have a link to it in the description down below as well too, so you can grab yours. It's fantastic. So let's go back to the chat here. So Terry says, yes, it looks good, I must say. Thomas Santiago says, hi all. Chris Jones is here. Hello, Will, Eric Jr. and Senior. Let me see here. Carlo Santin says, I've got my HX hooked up to my EVH 5150, or his EVH lunchbox amp. It's hooked up correctly, but the preamp on the EVH is not functioning. I'm getting clean sound from the power amp of the EVH and effects, and that's it. Carlo, if you have Skype, I'd be more than happy one night this week to Skype you, or we can do a FaceTime or something like that, and I'll try to help you. Maybe with two heads at the same time. We'll figure it out. I think I can get you. Working there for sure, and I will show you as well how to configure the channel switching. Now, I've done it on. Carlo was asking me earlier on Facebook about switching his lunchbox channel, and I don't know exactly how to do it on here. I know where to go into it here on the HX. I just don't know how 100% to do it. I'll point you in the right direction, and I do know how to do it on the Helix because I was just mentioning earlier that I've done that. So if I went, let's just say I saved this as a patch somewhere, okay, my custom preset somewhere else. I could assign this, and I could even make two of these. I could make two exact copies. One, when I switch to it, we'll call it patch 1, and the other one patch 2. When I switch to patch 1, it would be on the clean channel of my lunchbox. When stepping on patch 2, it would change the channel. And to do that, you go into the menu system, and you go into controller sign. No, sorry, hang on 1 second. Okay, let's try this again. Command center. Sorry, command center. All right, and it's easier on the Helix, I think. And you go into here. Okay, let's go to, actually, we'll go back to foot switch 1. So that I'm actually making foot switch 1 do something. What do I want it to do? I just keep changing these. Okay, there's a million things you can do. So there it is right there. External amplifier. Just bring this up closer for Carlo to see it. Okay, so on the EVH 5150 lunchbox, so you have different things. You can go tip, ring, sleeve, all that different thing. I think the lunchbox is only tip, ring. I think that's all it is on that one. It's that's all you would have. So one would be the tip, and I'm not sure which channel is which. So here's what the worst thing that could happen, Carlo. You, by setting at this and saving it, you might be switching to the wrong channel. So if you want clean to be clean and it's dirty, then you would just reverse this, whatever. So I could change this here. Sorry, with a tip, ring, tip, ring, tip and ring, all that kind of stuff. All you're going to need for the EVH lunchbox is either going to be tip or ring, and repeat that for each one that you want the channel to switch. And then save that, and then that's assigned to this button here. So when I get on there and I step on that button, it'll change it to the particular channel on the lunchbox. So that's kind of the right neighborhood to go into. You and I have to learn that together as far as using this. I can do it effortlessly on the Helix, but it's the same principle, so we should be able to figure that out. Go back here to this chat. All right, we're back. All right. So yeah, Carlo, I'll be more than happy to help you one night this week on a Skype call if you want. It'd be nice just to catch up too. Chad Boston says he's subbed to Bane on YouTube, BaneRocks.com. He's doing really, really good. Phenomenal. Single Coil Lover says, hey, Chris, thank you so much for the package. We haven't been able to contact you. Thanks, Chad, from Bane. Darren Moore, rock and roll. Sounds great, he says. Thank you. Appreciate that. Chris Jones says, glad all is well, man. That rig sounds sweet, Eric. Thank you. Sean Tubbs, hey, good to see you, buddy. Nice to have you stop by. Jared Frost says, for some reason I can't use the chat on my computer, but I can on my phone. I am here, though, watching. No problem. That's all good. We got you in there. And let's just mute my mics again for a second. That's driving me crazy. There we go. All right, so there we go. Chad Boston says, got to go. No problem. Thanks, Chad. Congrats again. Remember, everyone, support Eric and family with Super Chat or Patreon. Thank you. Appreciate that. It means a lot. Richard Henry says, right, guys, have a good show. It's 12:30 in the morning in Northern Ireland. Have work in the morning. Catch you all later. Thank you, Richard. Jared Frost says, you are correct about the ping pong delay on a left-right stereo power amp and setups. I've been experimenting with that on my rig, and it rings and rings. Sounds amazing. And that's a good point, too, where Jared's mentioning. That's one of the things that when I was talking about using the combination of the Line 6 and the real tube amps, last week when I did the demo using the Lunchbox and the Helix, I had the Lunchbox amplifier coming in mic'd just with one mic, and I brought it dead center, dry, nothing in the loop, nothing to the front of the amp other than my guitar. Then I blended in the Helix coming in wet left and right, and you had your true Eddie Van Halen kind of sound where it's just like raw in your face pure tube up the center, and then nice process tone left and right. And you're getting too much wet, you bring a little bit more dry up, or bring it back the wet a little bit more, or vice versa. And just once you hear that, it's amazing. You got to go back and watch that video if you can. It's very, very cool. And that's one of the really cool things I like learning from the Line 6 staff, and a lot of different forums, Facebook pages, and conversations with them. Even on my show, when I had Frank Rashad on a couple weeks ago, about a week ago, week and a half ago, he was saying, like, we don't expect you to this to be a replacement for tube amplifiers. We don't expect it to be a replacement for all your gear. We want to see you, and here I'm not quoting him, I'm not using his words, but in general what they're saying is we want it to work with your gear. And I said something on the show. I said I look at it kind of like, and it's kind of a silly analogy, but like Lego, just build and build and build. And you can build it with your gear. Now, can you use it on its own? 100%. You can use the Helix, and a lot of people do, just strictly on its own. You could use this with your board 100% on its own. I shouldn't say on a board, because this would be it. This is all you would need. But if you have if it's a couple of vintage pedals that you like, you want to bring with you, or a couple of nice pedals, not necessarily vintage, something that's really important to you, bring it along and use it. But it integrates with your existing workflow. And it's just another tool for you. I particularly could see myself using this as an exclusive standalone. Love it. Let me see. Dan Wilhite says, yo, Eric, congrats on 5K. Mike Francis says, congrats again, Poison and Eric. I keep sharing all. Gotta go. Let me know what you can do to help, and talk later. Thank you, Mike. Yes, Mike has been a great supporter of the show, sharing everywhere he can. He's one of the admins over on the Helix family Facebook group of Chads there, and also from the friendlygearfreaks.com as well too. So really, really good people. And if you guys have not heard about that that website and friendlygearfreaks.com, and then you can find the Facebook page from there as well, or just search for it as well too. Really good. It's not named Friendly Gear Freaks for nothing. Really good people there. You'll find that, some forums you can go into and you ask a question. Like even myself, I could go in and I could ask a question somewhere about the hxfx. If I didn't know how to, make my first patch, I say, how do I make an effect? It's like, you're coming in here asking that question, get out of here. Some places are like that. These places, like, they know they've been asked the same question 100 times again and again and again. They're nice to you. So that's really, really nice. And that's how people learn. If you get barked at the first time you ask a question, you're probably not going to learn, because you're going to get scared and give up. And they're not like that. And that's how I'm learning everything as well too. So credit where credit is due. Okay, where do we leave off here? I saw Sean says, Eric, you're killing this live thing. Thank you. I think you mean that in a good way. Thank you. Thank you. And Sean, this is cool. Sean's saying, I really need to check out the HX out. I've been using my M9 for a long time. Yeah, there's some of the effects, I think, from that in here as well too. So do check it out. Reach out to those guys, Sean. I think they would more than like to, they would love to work with you, I'm sure. But check them out for sure. Jarvis Beekter is here saying yellow. Carlo Santin, can't wait to bet mine, or to get mine working properly. It sounds amazing. And let me see here. Okay. Just got a text here from the baby. All right. And let me see here. She's also my producer as well too. So very, very good. Let me see here. Let me scroll down a little bit. I'm going to go backwards a little bit. 12th fret. I'm glad Line 6 came out with a unit like this. I had Helix, but didn't care for modelers, but cared for the FX part of it. Yep, that's what a lot of people do. They like to use the effects. Now it allows me to have both the effects without the amp modelers, and it's priced fine. Yeah, for sure. And I was one of those guys too that was so anti-digital. I mean, you could not get me to play digital for anything. And some of the first things that got me into the digital was Positive Grid, and I still use some of their products, the Bias Amp and things like that too. I haven't checked out the new one, the Bias Amp 2. I haven't tried that, but it's great stuff, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't love that too. It's really, really good stuff. I use it on the Mac here, so it's Mac, PC, whatever. Really, really good stuff. But yeah, and then Helix come along, and it all come about when the kind of everything went crazy here in the channel with Line 6 stuff, is when Jeff Waters come on the show from the Canadian band Annihilator, and a Canadian thrash metal, heavy metal band using nothing but the Helix. The Helix was the entire tone on their entire record, and that's all they used live. Nothing else. And he has an arsenal of amplifiers at his disposal, and he chose the Helix. And it's like, okay, that raised a flag. So let's check out what this Helix is all about. And then I got it. I got the rack shortly after his appearance on the show. And I swear to God, it wasn't more than about, I'm going to say, a week after, maybe less than that, I learned how to write a few patches, did a show just like this. I did like a kind of a fly by the seat of my pants show and showed off some of these patches. And I'm getting text messages and emails from Jeff Waters saying, dude, can you send me your patches? This is Jeff Waters from Annihilator asking me for my patches. I'm like, yes, sir, you can have them. I'm honored that you would like them because he's a huge Eddie Van Halen fan, loves them to death. So of course I had some of the real wet, 5150 tone, like from the album, all that kind of stuff, and then some of the more modern balanced tone and things like that, where a lot of people tend to really like that tone. So he wanted those. So I felt pretty good that he even asked me for them. So very, very cool. Let me see. Carlos says, congrats from Brazil. Amazing videos. Amazing job. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I do try very hard. And today was a nice little wake up, saying, got this little, just a printed certificate, but where are we at? That was really cool. I was very, very cool. I was really excited about that. So, and that's, I don't do this for the subscribers, like just for numbers. I do it because I like to share content. And, I guess that's why the numbers are going up, because people are digging it, and I'll do my very, very best. I like to try to keep things coming that are new and fresh. That's why I'm trying to introduce the Helix Hour coming up very, very soon. That's going to be fun, and keeping the guests flowing as well too. And obviously, that's another thing too. Besides the 5,000 mark today, when 5150 rolls around, which I'm just going to throw out a number. I'm going to throw a guess, and this is I always try to do everything in life as realistic as possible. I never set unrealistic goals. So like when I always use the golf analogy, if you're going to go do something in life, don't go out and, expect to hit par in your first game of golf if you've never golfed in your life. Go out and hit 5 over par and consider yourself lucky. So I'm just going to try to pick a date when I might hit 5150. I'm going to say 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm going to say 3 weeks. Let's even go for the latter. 3 weeks, I'm going to hit 5150. If all goes well. And when that happens, I'm going to announce a big contest. There's going to be some prizes to be determined. And it's going to be a big one. And it would certainly be a nice time to have Eddie Van Halen on the show. Working on that very hard and diligently right now. So that would be very, very cool. That'd be a good way to celebrate, wouldn't it? Jay's Tacos and Guitars just popped in. Says, sorry I'm late. Congrats, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. You know what it's all about. He's building a great channel as well, too. Jay's Tacos Guitars. Click on his name if you can get to his channel and go check it out as well, too. Really, really cool stuff. Okay. The set, the sound, everything. Great job, man. Oh, thank you, Sean, that he's saying the set, the sound, as far as doing the live show thing here. Yeah, I'm really working hard on that. There's still some changes. Sandra Lee is a huge asset to me when it comes to that, as well as many other things that she does. But the interior decor here has a lot to do with her. And I remember one time before I switched to this, what you see now, let me go back, get rid of the stuff off the screen just for a second. Okay, so what you see now, all that kind of deal. The night before I switched to this, I tried something different, and I took a picture and I sent it to her upstairs because she was resting. And she just texts back, nope. So I was vetoed on my idea. And of course, I changed wires, I changed cables, I had amps all re-rigged, and I'm thinking, this is great. She's like, nope. And then I looked at the picture and I thought about it, and I was like, once again, she's right. Just like when she told me the other night not to take the car out when we had the horrific snowstorm. And what did I do? I got stuck uptown. So there we go. Let's go back to the chat. But thanks. I guess that's what I'm saying with Sean's comment there. I'm trying to work on the light, trying to work on the production. And that's another thing too. I gotta go back and do some more things as well too. Rode Microphones. Rode Microphones has been an absolute phenomenal sponsor of this show. They've brought my sound level to a whole new realm. Presonus, which you can just barely see off here a little bit too, the mixer. Presonus is working with me very closely. Presonus and Rode work so nice together when it comes to microphone and mixer. And coming in the next week or so, I'm going to have some of the real nice Aris ES8s, the 8-inch powered monitors from Presonus as well too. So I'm looking forward to getting those in here mounted in a nice visible area too, and do some really cool demos on those. It's gonna be nice for Junior and I. Junior is writing up a storm right now. And, he's just using headphones and built-in sound in his little Mac Mini upstairs. We're going to get him down here, and he can start composing his music through these big powered monitors and stuff like that. He's going to have a great time. Great time for sure. So thank you so much. Thank you to Jeff Hausman at Van Halen Store. Jeff Hausman popped on as a sponsor on my channel when I only had like around 300 subscribers. You know, it was probably a cool fit. You know, I talk about Van Halen stuff all the time. As a matter of fact, the shirt I'm wearing right now is from Van Halen Store. Everything you see me wear with Van Halen stripes on it is from VanHalenStore.com. And he's a good dude. He cares about you, the customer, more than you could possibly ever imagine. If it's not right, he'll make it right. And I tell you, the guy could be the world's best mover, the way he packs boxes. If you're packing a truck, he could pack a friggin' 10 room house into a small truck. He's that good. Let's go back a little bit more. So MB says, thank you, Poison. He's a handful sometimes, but it's all worth it. I must have missed the previous comment. Carlo Santin says $750 Canadian, but it's absolutely worth it just for the reverbs and delays alone. The Boss DD500 cost $500 just for that unit. Yeah, so there you go. So $750 Canadian. I hadn't worked it out to Canadian price yet, Carlo. But still, at $750, you're still doing great. You're still doing great. Let me see here. Oh yeah, so R2, R3 locking that says balance style detune in there, Eric. I can't do it exactly on the fly. I don't want to monopolize everyone's time. It could be easily done, just like the one I did on the Helix. There's the pitch detune, and what you do is, in most cases, in a stereo environment, you go in there and all you do is you keep the pitch at 0, so it's not affected either way. And then you do a detune on one channel, -11 to maybe -15. Right around the -11 is where Eddie would set it. And if you want a little bit more in your face, -15 cents negative, and then on the right channel, plus whatever it would be, +11, +13, +15, whatever you choose. They're exactly the same on either side. And it just gives that really, really wide, kind of a chorusing effect. But, 5150 balance, all that kind of stuff, you can totally get that tone. But it can be done easily. I just don't want to waste everyone's time and your time, too, to do that. But it's in there for sure. Quentin James, hey y'all. And Quentin, I think you were enjoying the tone the other night. I did a really late night broadcast, which is kind of irregular for me. I think I started around 11 o'clock, and that's one of the benefits of the Helix. I was playing through using the Variax guitar from Line 6. They sent me a real nice, the JTV 89F, James Tyler with the Floyd Rose on it, and oh man, was I in love with that. And the cool thing was, 11 o'clock at night, I'm playing here, I'm rocking this, like having a rock fest. And Poison Ivy in the morning, I said, I hope you didn't hear me last night, whatever, I didn't disturb you or anything. She goes, I didn't even know you were alive. And I'm down here rocking, from 11 till, past midnight, and no one heard me. That's one of the benefits of using the Line 6 products. Absolutely love it. And I would be using the Line 6 Variax tonight, but I really felt, 5,000 subscriber today. I felt like I'm already doing some Line 6 love over here. I wanted to use my baby here as well, too. The EVH, actually, where Fender, AVH Fender. I love that. My custom logo I made. Let me see here. What else we got? Wicker Cane. Hey, Eric. Looking hippie-ish, my man. Hey, there you go. Yeah, I'm growing the hair out. That could be the hippiness. And the jury's still out whether I'm going to do it 100%, but I'm thinking I'm going to. Let's go back a little bit more. So I'm hoping I didn't miss anyone. Poison Knife will tell me if I did. Jamie Trevino's here at the Law says, hey. Thanks, man. I skipped over and I did not mean to. And the good thing is I'll see all the names here on the screen as well, too. Have I missed anything? That's basically all I wanted to show you. And like I would show you more. Hang on, I missed someone. I did miss someone. Oh, Access Mario's here. Yeah, I'm missing a few. Let's go back. Let's make sure I don't miss anyone. Tone Wars is here. Marcel is here. Okay, I'm going to kind of skip all over the place. 1 second. Run through some of the factory presets. Okay, Justin says, any way you could run through some of the factory presets? Yes and no. And the no is because some of them have distortion in them, so I have to be careful, because that's when I got the crazy feedback today, because I'm running it through the loop right now. And here's one thing, I'm just disclaimer. Factory presets suck in just about anything. And even Line 6 will tell you, Eric Klein will tell you, he's the brain, the father of Helix, and he will tell you presets suck. So I'm not going to say that these ones necessarily are they suck. I'm not saying they're the best. They're a starting point. But yeah, we can do that. And I have to be careful which ones we go through, because like I say, some of them have crazy distortions and stuff like that, and I'm not running properly into the rig. Okay. Okay, so there we go. Let's put on, and of course these are going to be some crazy. Okay, let me see 1 second. Okay, so but this one here is a guitar starter, the patch 1A. Okay, right now it's using a vintage digital, the Kinky Boost. which is what the exotic EP booster, I believe. And that's it. So the delay's a little hot. Now that distortion you're hearing is the dirty channel of the 5150. That's not any distortion here. Okay, we can try a couple of those. I just got to be careful which ones. I don't know which patches are that are unsafe for this amp. By unsafe, I mean running distortion through the loop. Kind of crazy. Yeah, that's going to clip your ears horribly, but a long delay. Super long delay. Okay, I gotta be careful because I know one of these is is the hot button. Do not touch. Okay, there's a nice chorus. Let's go back to the clean channel and try that one. So this is a factory preset. That's pretty nice for a preset. Okay, so there's a nice... Okay, now I think this one here called Furnace. That's the one I'm not going to touch because that was a crazy one. I'm going to try with my mics turned off. 1 second. That was the one. Okay, so that one's some crazy gain. Stay away from the Furnace. Kids, don't go near the Furnace. Okay, the double time. And I just muted my mics. So you asked for the presets. I'm doing this just for you, factory presets. And like everyone will tell you, factory presets are not the best. I'm not, some people might say, wow, that's awesome. And there's nothing wrong with them, but they're just in there to give you an idea. Super G. Or actually, Synergy. Synergy is called. So, it's a little too much. Okay, let's go back in here. Let's go back to Bank again. Ambiance. That'd be nice for some swells. Try that on the distortion channel. So huge reverb. So that's probably all the presets I'm going to go through. Like I say, the presets are just there for a guide. But what the first thing I would suggest anyone doing with this thing is, go back into bank mode. I'll do this one last time. I'm just going to create one preset. Go in here. We have nothing on the board. Click what we want. Distortion, dynamics, EQ, modulation, mono, optical tremolo, and we got it. You see what I did? I created it there in 2 seconds. Go over here, pop on the reverb. That's what you're going to want to do. You're going to get this unit. You're going to take it out of the box. You're going to hook it up with a USB cable to the computer. You're going to go to the website, line6.com. You're going to download Line 6 Updater software, and more than likely it has a slightly older firmware that's shipped from the factory. You're going to update this to the latest firmware, 2.50, I believe. And then next thing you're going to do, and it's kindergarten simple, it updates so quickly. You're going to hop in here. You're going to go to a bank that's free, and you're going to do exactly the guide I just did. Hit the big knob, start creating some effects. Put them in whatever order you want. Take that one here. Actually, let's do this. There we go. Moved it over here. I just moved the pedal. It's simpler than moving your pedals on your pedal board, and you can change the routing without taking a whole bunch of Velcro and sticky tape and all kinds of stuff like that off as well too. So yeah, Vintage Sound says the delay is awesome. So let me just go through. I'm going to wrap up here, but I want to go through and just make sure I didn't miss anyone. Okay. So Vintage Sound said delay is awesome. Scully's Woodshed said no problem. Eli says thanks Woodshed. Greetings all from Citizen Kane. This Justin says thanks so much. Let me see here. David Ennis is here, and Access Maro, thanks so much, man. We still got to do our phone call. We've been wanting to have a phone call together for a real long time, and I hope we can do that soon. MB says the hxfx has all 3500 series pedals, so that would has all three 500 series pedals. It would be $1,500 right there just for those 3 pedals. There you go. Is that white guitar a Kramer or a Fender? The white stripe one at the back, if that's what you're asking about, that's the EVH, if that's one you're talking about. EVH brand. Let me see here. No problem. Air car bar is taken off. So I ran the presets. Thomas Santico, thumbs up. Awesome. Sean Tubbs, thank you for the huge props. And anytime Sean Tubbs gives you props, man, you count your blessings. I count my blessings with everybody too. But Sean is like the guru of tone. Just amazing. He insane. Don Shepard says, hey, everyone. And I think we're just about done, guys. No problem, Don Shepard says, late to the show tonight. Congrats on the 5K, Eric, and good day all. I will have to watch later. No problem. Thank you. Watch the replay. So Sam has a good question. Says, does the Helix work best running through a wedge speaker or studio monitors like the hxfx? Without modeling, the Helix. Does the Helix work best? Yes. The Helix works really, really nice when you're running to like FRFR, flat response, which I don't do. I don't have anything like that. For me, I use it in the environment, in a studio environment, just strictly to push out to broadcast, and it works awesome for that. And in some cases like that, using either amp and cabinet modeling or sometimes impulse responses. But it could work in the same process. And I know Sam's got the Axe 8, I think you got, and I know you're really enjoying that. So yeah, you can use it the same way, just like that, to your desired monitoring system like that as well. Hopefully that makes sense. Scottish Witch says, stuck in the snow happens here all the time. I'll be glad when spring comes. Yeah, and the other day, the better half says, don't go out. You're going to get stuck. Don't go out. You're going to get stuck. And I text her about half an hour later. I was like, okay, please don't tell me I told you so. I'm uptown and I'm stuck. And yeah, you know what? Tomor says the Placator model is amazing. I tapped into that one the other day. I updated the firmware like everyone, probably a few hours after everyone else, because it crashed the actual website. But once I was able to get the software, the updater and everything, that's one of the first ones I tried. I tried that and a little bit of reverb, and I was in heaven, so I want to experiment with that one some more. Let me see here. Stormer Vets, congrats on 500 subs. Slow and steady build is great. Looking forward to many more shows. Thank you. And I believe, I have to double check my schedule. I think it's this coming Friday. I'm almost 100% positive. Michelangelo Patillo's on the show. Really, really cool. So that was a fun one to secure. Looking forward to that, and we'll have some real shred from him as well too, and many more good guests coming up for sure, including with the new feature, the Helix Hour. It's gonna be fun too. The Helix Witchcraft Machine, love it. You do honest content, Eric. Keep it honest. You'll hit whatever number you want, man. That's from Sean. And Poison Ivy, I think she's agreeing to that. Or she's agreeing to something anyways. Quentin James says, what is this Helix sorcery you speak of? It's awesome. What it did for me as a guitar player is it was a rejuvenation, 100% rejuvenation. And I was talking to Frank several times since he's been on the show, Frank Rashad, and I'm saying it just brought me out of like not that I was necessarily in a huge guitar rut, but I stopped thinking about guitar. I was more focused on running this talk show. And that's very, very important to me, that I started to forget about the guitar portion of it. And I gotta hold on to a guitar and keep playing. And the Helix and the Line 6 family of the Helix products it's done that. It's brought me out of the hole. That new guitar, absolutely amazing. Poison Ivy and Junior would tell you, I'm playing it all the time here in the house. And it's just insane. I love it. So it's good. Let me see here. I think I've got everybody. I really hope I didn't miss anybody. Listen, so thank you so much to everyone here that made this happen. 5,000 subscribers as of today. It's very hard to imagine, and it's a big thing for me, and it's all because of you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I encourage you to hang by, and if you haven't subscribed yet, I know probably most of the people that are watching right now have subscribed. If you haven't, please do, and do turn on the notifications, because I do a lot of random stuff that isn't necessarily always scheduled or scripted. The best way to find out is that's the first line of defense to find out when I'm going live. Either it's a good way to subscribe if you definitely don't want to see me when I'm live, so you don't accidentally find me. So if you hate me, subscribe to me, and then I'll get a notification Eric's going live, and you can just run away, and you'll know. But if you want to see my content, the same thing happens. If you subscribe to me and you turn on the notifications, hey, Eric's going live, you can get over here real quick, or you can make a note to watch it, half an hour later or whatever. There's new content. Number 2, follow on Facebook. Facebook, I think it's been in the little ticker at the bottom. As a matter of fact, it's going by right now. On Facebook, facebook.com/EVHGearTV. As a matter of fact, any of the social platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at EVHGearTV. I'd love to connect with you on those platforms. But Facebook for sure is always a fail-safe. If I'm going live, for some of you that are my personal friends on my own Facebook, I post there. And I also post on the EVH Gear TV Facebook page that I'm going to be going live at X amount of time, whether it's for an unboxing, a demo, a guest, all that kind of stuff. Okay, a couple more comments here at the very end. But that's, yeah, so subscribe, follow on those different platforms, and hang out with the community. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. I've got my Patreon up as well now too. If those of you that wish to support in the Patreon, it's patreon.com/evhqtv. Very easy to find as well too. David Ennis says, congrats on the 5K. Quentin James says, Eric, Tony Clark is posting some pretty rad Helix videos on Face Planet, but don't tell him I said that. Yeah, you introduced me to him the other day. That's very cool. I want to look into more with his stuff. Carlos says, thanks, Eric. You are awesome, my friend. Mystic Dream says, Eric, how do you like the hxfx? You'll have to watch this one back. I know you're probably coming in late. I love it, and I've only physically used it for the day, part of the day today. And I'm going to be honest, I was intimidated by it at first. I'm not going to lie. I got to give an honest opinion. I was intimidated. I even went and told Sandra Lee, I was like, I don't know how to work it. I got to demo it tonight. I don't know how to work it. And when I kind of just said, okay, Eric, simmer down, sit down in front of it, and navigate. And you can, whenever you're lost, you can always hit the home button and take you back home. It's like little breadcrumbs getting back to the house. You can always get back home. And once I just, said, Eric, stop being an idiot and focus with it, I started learning it right away. So I love it. It's going to be used tremendously here. The patches, I'm very used to them in the Helix anyways. So I'm very comfortable with them. So your long answer to your question, love it. Scully says, I have both and I like the Kramers more. They've never made an EVH model. Okay, sorry, I wasn't sure what you're referring to in the guitars. And speaking of Kramers, you're going to see some demos here coming up in the very near future as well too. Going to be some cool stuff, so stick around for that. Obviously, Eddie had a lot to do with that company's success. A lot is under an understatement. Let me see here. Anything else? I'm hoping I'm not missing anything. I think I've got just about everybody. So listen, I'll let you go. It is 8:18 here, and if I'm lucky, I can probably give my beautiful better half a kiss goodnight before she goes to bed. Okay, like I say, she turns in early, and maybe if I could just ask for a little round of applause for Poison Ivy. If you like my content, some thumbs up and even some little whatever emoticons in the chat, whatever. It's Poison Ivy is what makes the show happen. So I can't take credit for the greatness that she provides. So that's it. I thank you all so much for tuning in, and I'm gonna, as over the next coming nights, when I learn the hxfx a little bit more, I'm going to I'll do some really cool demos and get really advanced with it. As you know, when you saw me doing some of the Helix stuff, from unboxing the Helix to a couple days later learning a patch to now doing some really cool stuff that some people are actually really liking, it shows that I've got a bit of a learning curve and that I can do okay with it. I intend to do the exact same thing with the hxfx and do some more in-depth demos. So excuse me. So stick around for that. And yes, Mystic Dream says, I'm getting it. Did you see my new inlays on Rosie? Yeah, it's Les Paul. It's looking really, really nice. And awesome. Everyone's given Poison Ivy the thumbs up. There you go. Scully says, if it wasn't for EVH, Kramer would have not been making guitars in the 80s. Pretty much. You got it. That's right. So I'm going to turn it over to the little man here in a second. He's going to tell us what his name is, what he's playing, and for everyone's Frank C, thank you. Everyone's sending her some love, which she deserves. So thank you again, 5,000 subscribers. Thank you all so very, very much. It means the world to myself and the family here. I'm forgetting about numbers for quite some time now. I just want to focus on content. Not that I was really looking at numbers, but of course, you run a channel and you get close to 5,000 subscribers. It's kind of fun, right? But cool stuff. I am working around the clock. I work from home. I run my own business, but I'm also working around the clock, booking guests, and I'm working very, very hard. It's getting very close to landing Eddie, have him on the show, and I'm gonna need like about 30 more moderators. So I'm gonna be calling out for some people, possibly for some volunteers. I may need some more moderators. It's gonna be a crazy, crazy day, and I'm hoping to have some assistance actually here in the studio because it's gonna be probably the craziest interview I've ever done. But what I'm planning to do with that, I've already read all the questions to Poison Ivy. They've been done for 2 months, and there's a lot of questions. I doubled my questions for Eddie for the sole fact that he can pick and choose what he wants, and if he wants to whittle it down to 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, or an hour, or maybe he'll do the 90. Who knows? I'm prepared for anything. So that's why I brought a lot to the table, that I can trim it down to a nice little appetizer if I have to. But stick around. I'm going to work really hard for that. And then after that, I'm going to keep working just as hard. I always like to work at a job or at a gig like I'm auditioning for the gig. And here's maybe a good way to close out the show. I want you guys and girls to always feel that, okay, now maybe I've got you, maybe some of you have been here since day one, some of you are new, maybe some of you just tuned in tonight. I want to work as hard to keep you here as what it was that got you here, if that makes any sense. I'm auditioning for the gig, and I want you to keep me around, so that's what I'm trying to do. You heard it, citizen. I'm working on it very hard, very, very hard, and there's other powers too that are trying. So keep watching the feeds here. That's another reason to subscribe. All right, everyone, thank you so much. I talk way too long. Just going to turn it over to the little guy. We're getting out of here. See you real soon. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. You rock. Cheers. I am now on Patreon. If you enjoy my content and wish to support my channel and what I do, then please check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/evhgeartv. Your support assures the continued growth of this channel and a fun community in which to share our love for Van Halen, music gear, and much more.
Hey, my name is Eric and I'm playing the Frankenstrat guitar.
Video production services provided by Design 39 Media. Visit design39media.com for all your website, photography, and video production needs.